Okay, so let's work on writing an equation of a trend line. In example 3, what trend line models the data in the scatter plot? So we need to come up with our own trend line. What you want to look at is drawing in a straight line through these points. I can see that the y values are increasing as our x values are increasing. So there's a positive association here. It could be tighter, like it could be a tighter correlation to have a pretty strong linear relationship, but we're going to draw a straight line through this cluster of points. Your trend line does not have to go through any of the actual data points on here. So don't think that you have to pick 2 points that exist and draw a trend line through them. You're just trying to estimate, the trend of the points and draw a line that goes kind of through the center of them as best you can. I don't have a straight edge. I would like to use one if I could. If you guys have a straight edge, just to help give yourself a nice straight line. In general, you want to have it balanced between the points. So like, do you have a similar number of points above the line as you have below the line? Different things like that. So if I were to draw a trend line, let's see, what should my trend line look like? I think I'm going to have a line that looks something like that. So my trend line, if I just say, is this a decent one? I can say I have 1, 2, 3 points above it. I have 1, 2, 3 points below it. This one point is kind of touching it. But in general, it's not like I drew my line. Let me see if I can move my line and show you what I mean. Oh, 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 there we go. Okay. Gosh, that took a minute. So if I have my line, let's say up here, you can see that clearly I have more points below the line than above it. It does kind of follow what we might consider the slope of the points, but it's not in the middle. If my line was further down like this, I would say, wait a second, I have too many points above, not enough below, and you want to kind of keep it as kind of in the middle of it as you can. All right, so once you have your trend line, we can write an equation. What we need for an equation are 2 points on the line so we can find the slope, and then we can use the slope and one of the points to find our y-intercept, and then there you go, we'll have our trend line. So what I'm going to look for along the line that I drew are some nice exact points. So I think I just found one right here. I like that ordered pair. I'm just looking along the line. Oh, and I like this one. So you can see I just drew in those black points. I'm going to get those ordered pairs. Let's see, the x-axis is counting by twos. So I have the ordered pair 6, and it went up to 200. So 6 comma 200 is one ordered pair. My other one is at a 14 and 450. All right, so now that I have 2 points on my trend line, I'm going to write an equation. Start by finding the slope. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my y2 is 450 minus 200 over 14 minus 6. So when you're doing trend lines of data, you might get some real weird answers. So I'll just tell you right now, it's okay if you have a decimal for your slope when we're dealing with scatter plots, just so you know. All right, 450 minus 200 is 250. We're going to divide that by 14 minus 6 is 8. So let's just grab a calculator, divide that. We can round to the nearest tenth. We get 31.3 as our slope. All right, so we're going to take the slope, and I'm going to take one ordered pair. Maybe I'll just pick the one with smaller numbers. And now I'm going to plug into y equals mx plus b so that I can find the y-intercept. So I'm going to take the y value from the coordinate, which is 200, equals our slope is 31.3 times the x value of our coordinate is 6, and then plus, oh, my b's and my 6's look the same. All right, it's not technically a capital B, but I'm just going to make it a capital B so I don't get confused. All right, so now we need to do 31.6, nope, 31.3 times 6. We get 200 equals 187.8 plus our y-intercept b. Let's subtract 187.8 from both sides. And we get a y-intercept of 12.2. So we're going to write our equation with our y-intercept and our slope, these two pieces of information. So our trend line is y equals, our slope is, my threes are looking weird. Our slope is 31.5x plus 12.2. So just kind of a secondary question here. Explain why there could be no data points on a trend line, yet the line models the data. So you can kind of write down your version of this, but a trend line has to go through the center of the data points as best it can. When your data points are just kind of scattered about, but they're forming a, in this case, a positive association, your line, as it goes through the center of them, may not hit one of the data points, and that's okay. So however you want to paraphrase that in your own words, go ahead and write that in your notes.